Welcome to church. This is Charles Murphy, hanging out with Charles Villanueva, here to break down episode 4 of Hawkeye. We had Elena Belova's entrance into the show and that big rooftop fight at the end, and we may have learned quite a bit about who the actual person is behind the scenes pulling all the strings. We're going to break down all that for you and more, and think a little bit about how things are going to wrap up over the next 2 weeks, with especially with the big long-awaited reveal coming up here in episode 5. Charles, what do you want to start talking about today?
I guess the centerpiece of the episode is definitely the fight scene. That is that's why you're watching the show. It's for stuff like that, and I think the fight scene was okay. I think I like the fact that this version of New York looks distinctly better than the fucking Netflix version of New York. In that they're fighting on a rooftop. It's not that dark, and it doesn't feel empty. Like, you could see the background, you could see the fucking the light, the skyline there. It looked very, I guess it looked. I don't know. It just looked really lived in, and not like the Netflix where they're fighting on the rooftop. It kind of seems like there's no one in the vicinity, at least fucking 2 miles out. It feels very fake and hokey. It looks like a soundstage, but this one looks pretty good. And then the action was pretty dope. I was surprised to see that we were getting the super adaptoid costume right then and there. I thought that would be like from a different scene, like from a different whole different episode. But I was surprised to see that here. I like how the four of them end up fighting each other and sort of getting each other's way. I like how there was no some sort of like. I like that Echo and Yelena didn't like acknowledge, oh, let's team up and fight these guys. No, they were like fighting each other. They were trying to get what they want, and I liked how that panned out. Obviously, the beats where Kate's sort of hanging in the whole thing and she can go down, and then when they try to recreate the Boromir scene, I thought that was pretty nice. Though I think that Boromir scene is so I don't think it should be in the middle of the fight, because like Clint gives her like a good 2 minute stare, while I guess Yelena and Echo are just like fucking watching him behind. So I don't know. I guess that should have been like the end of the fight where when Yelena escapes and all that. But yeah, I think the fight scene overall was pretty fine. And I like how, like I said, Yelena gets to show a version of herself that we haven't seen. Like, she seems like this episode makes it seem like she's a bad guy. She's fucking evil. The way she unmasks her stuff, the way she gives Kate that stare, you could tell that she's sort of hell bent on getting this done. And I think I told you about this, or I guess I tweeted about this, that I think it's clear also that it's fucking Eleanor that asks a favor from Belle to send this. At least she makes the call in the episode. But yeah, I like the fight.
Two things kind of stand out to me in it. One, Elena is a terrible assassin. If she's there to kill Clint, I have no idea why she didn't just kill him. Why she decided to engage him in a hand-to-hand fight. So I think even in like the trailer or the little TV spot or whatever you want to call it that covers the next 2 episodes, she says something about being there to kill him. Okay, bro, you could have shot him in the back of the head when you were standing on the rooftop, but you decided to engage him in a fist fight. But obviously we know Yelena's not supposed to be an outright villain, so we take what we get there. The other thing was they leaned pretty heavily into the parallels between the story that Clint told Kate about Natasha and then what we saw unfold on the rooftop between Kate and Yelena. So, Kate has the chance to take the shot to kill Yelena. She chooses not to, just like Clint didn't take the shot. And so I guess the big thing that's left hanging out there is like, we know how that went for for Clint and Natasha, that they formed this great bond and became best friends. But it sort of seems in this parallel that it could come back to bite them both in the ass by leaving Yelena alive, and she's going to continue to be a thorn in their side. And I do think, we still have no idea what the ultimate goal is here for Val, why she wanted to take out Clint, other than, like you said, probably Eleanor's made the call and said, hey, got an Avenger on our tail. We need to get rid of him, right? So that seems to be it. So we don't really we don't really still have a big picture of what Val's up to. It seems like this hit on Clint is like a personal favor for a personal friend, and maybe not part of her larger scheme that we've seen, which involves her, hiring Elena and working with John Walker so far.
It was pretty crazy to see fucking Kate impale Echo with an arrow. Like this,
Yeah.
it was like holy shit! You fucking shot her in the fucking shoulder. Like I don't think the, I don't think Kate ever shot one of the tracksuit monkeys like that. So it is pretty fucking surprising that she fucking impales her with an arrow. But yeah, I actually didn't catch that sort of parallel between Kate and Elena, and that she didn't take that shot. I took that as sort of, I guess she was intimidated by Elena. Elena just gives her a stare, and she's like, "All right, I'm not fucking doing this," because it seemed like a very take this shot and I'll fucking kill you stare, and not
Yeah.
like please don't kill me. I'm helpless. It wasn't. I guess it was a different context this time, but I guess that's a nice parallel here. But I think while I like this fight scene, while I think this fight scene is the centerpiece, I think the best thing about this episode is just seeing Kate and Clint bond
Hmm.
during Christmas. That montage, it's very like if I said the episode 3 sequence, the action sequence, that was the show paying homage to the David Aja's drawings and sense of sense of movement and paneling. I think that whole montage of them hanging out for Christmas is them paying homage to Fraction stuff,
Yeah.
and that's sort of them paying lip service to that. And I absolutely loved it because it was so charming, it was so heartwarming. It was nice to see Clint teach Kate how to do the coin thing, and it's such a, like if I was hanging out with an Avenger, if I was hanging out with Cap and he could teach me some sort of party trick, I would ask him to, because
Yeah.
that's like one of the cool things you could ever ask from an Avenger. And I like how Clint just teaches her, and I like how Kate picks up on it fast. It just goes to show how Kate has this innate skill of doing things really, really fucking well. And when you have an Avenger take her under her wing, she's only gonna do even fucking better stuff
Hmm.
that she would probably surpass Clint in really, really soon, in no time. So I absolutely love that moment. Obviously, that dark moment where Kate asks, "What's the best shot you took?" And Clint says, "It's the one I didn't take." And it's such a dark moment. And I also fucking like how this episode wastes no time in Kate figuring out, oh shit, that's you, isn't it? You're Ronin. I
Yeah.
like how I think everyone thought that, oh my god, it's gonna be a big reveal in episode 5, and then the relationship is gonna get strained. They're not gonna hang out anymore. Kate is gonna be be disillusioned with who she thought Clint was, but no. In many ways, she wants Clint to find his humanity again, and she's not chastising him. She's not shaming him for what he's done. He's like, no, you fucked up. You lost your family, and you deserve to find your humanity again. And it's such a nice touch to an otherwise, I guess, what people thought would be this big, third act fracturing. And it's such a nice, charming thing, all in all.
It did have a nice callback too. You said like the it seemed like an homage to Fraction stuff. And Clint basically has his like my life as a weapon speech, right? Like that was
Right.
such a nice part that he explains like, no, I wasn't a hero. I was pointed at people with the intention of hurting them. And I like that, right? Because we've seen Hawkeye the Family Guy here, but we forget that this guy is a very dangerous, very highly trained, and very skilled. I mean, assassin for what it's worth, right? Like he was out there and in Thor with his bow drawn on Thor, ready to kill him at Shield's command. So that is a great scene. The conversation is great. I think the banter between Clint and Kate is only good because Haley Steinfeld and Jeremy Renner seem to really have a nice chemistry together, and
Yeah.
it's a continuation of what we've seen for the most part here in these Disney Plus shows, that the chemistry between the leads has been really really solid, and that continues here. And speaking of chemistry and well casted roles, it's just a little bit in the beginning but we get a really good, I guess, 2 minute spurt of Tony Dalton as Jack, and he's just so great. He's such an idiot, but he just makes you love him so much, right? Like as much, he even makes Kate smile a little bit. And
Right.
as much as a douchebag as they've made him out into here, Tony Dalton gets that nice 2 minutes, and he and Vera really seem to click in that little 2 minutes, right? And I love that little scene. I was laughing the second time I watched. I was laughing so hard at him, and again, he's still in this like whatever accent he's trying to pull, and he's just so sleazy and cheesy. It's fabulous. I love it.
It's so crazy that the show still insists on trying to make this thing a mystery, and that,
Yeah.
oh, I can't believe Jack fucking hired Qazi. I can't believe he would have he has the capacity to do such a thing like that. It's so crazy how the show keeps on insisting on fucking trying to perpetuate this mystery that, you know, Kate's mom might be a bad guy. Jack might be a bad guy, but it's so clear. Like at this point, I feel like they're leaning on this too hard that there may be a twist that they're not bad guys at all. I feel like that could be like the fucking twist here in that Jack isn't the bad guy, but it's fucking Kate's mom completely. And then Jack is like, you know, some sort of like, patsy or some shit. But I mean, I just want the fucking thing to be over with as far as that mystery, because the mystery is not really good. And I don't think when you think about it, there's kind of no mystery that they want to know who's working with the Trax Mafias. They know Sloan Enterprises is a shell corporation that's, I guess, run by Jack. That's pretty much it. I guess the big thing here is the watch, which, by the way, a fucking theory going on right now is that it kind of seems like Laura Barton might be a fucking Shield agent in that she knows how to track spy shit and whatnot. She needs that watch, or at least she might have something to do with the watch. And people think that, oh shit, what if that's maybe that watch is something special? And then doesn't Clint say that, oh, the one who owns that watch is out of commission, and you know, if something would happen, it would be really bad. That
Yeah,
kind of
I mean the comment is that the person who owned that watch has been out of commission for a long
right,
time,
right.
and you've got the Barton's oldest kid has got to be what 16, 17, 18 years
Yeah.
old. So there's enough evidence that points to like, all right, yeah, maybe Laura was a spy. She can quickly move into speaking another language to keep things quiet from the kids. He
Right.
can lean on her to like you said, do some spy shit, get on the internet and do something that probably required a little bit more than just your average Google search. And yeah, I wrote a whole piece about how there's enough evidence in that show to make a claim that she is not only an agent, but maybe this is going to be our MCU version of Mockingbird. And man, did that make people really angry,
Yeah.
because apparently, you can only have Adrienne Pilecki be Mockingbird, even though they never called her Mockingbird.
Nothing would make me happier if they fucking did that. Just to fucking mess with them, because I feel conceptually it's such a good idea though that they were maybe Shield agents back in the day, and then when they got knocked up, I guess I could see Laura wanting out of this life. In that, hey Nick, Clint wants to stay on, but I kind of want to raise my kids, and you seem cool enough to give us that sort of space and give us the farm. And I feel like that could be the thing. It would be amazing though if the kids are fully aware of it, and that, hey mom, we're doing spy stuff again. I feel like it's just nice to see a family so well adjusted with the superhero life
Hmm.
that the kids are understanding. His kid is like, oh, you need to go, okay, do your thing. And then even the youngest kid's like, Dad, it's okay if you don't go home, because they understand what their dad needs to do, how big his job is, how important it is for him to like save lives. And I
Hmm.
like how Laura doesn't give him shit for it. She's all for it. And it would explain that she's all for it because she used to be part of this life, and she understands,
Yeah.
the sacrifices needed to make, the risks one has to take. And I kind of want to see this, like, more than the mystery, because we know who's fucking behind the thing. I kind of want to see what the fuck is up with Laura at this point.
Yeah.
That is sort of the one of the most exciting things about the show currently. But yeah, it's such a fucking good twist. And I guess one thing I thoroughly fucking dislike about this episode is that whole LARPing scene. Like, I don't see why they needed to take a detour with the LARPers. I mean, I guess from a Fraction Aja standpoint, they really wanted to sort of bring in this sort of neighborhood feel to the thing. In that, oh, let's bring in these crew of people Hawkeye met. But the thing is, Hawkeye only really met with Grills, and
Yeah.
they're bringing in a bunch of people we haven't met. And it's so dumb how the episode sort of makes it a point that Clint says, "Oh, one of them is a cop, and she probably knows me or some shit like that." It kind of seemed when I was watching the episode, it was kind of like, did I fucking miss a scene here
Yeah.
where they got a hand of his arrows, and then he met this cop who was willing to commit a fucking felony? I presumed evidence tampering.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy how the whole thing comes together, and it feels it doesn't feel messy, but it feels haphazard in that they didn't really think this through, or maybe they thought it through, and they had another scene where it's a whole other thing, convincing the larpers to help her out, but it was just pretty annoying to see it fucking come together. I kind of wish Clint would tell Kate, "Oh, meet someone. His name's Grills. He knows who I am. He'd help you out in a cinch. Meet him instead." I feel like
Yeah.
that's the scene that would make the most sense, and it would actually make it would actually bring Grills more into the fold in a very meaningful manner. But no, he just sort of like jumps in with the cop with the group, and it's very impersonal, and I kind of wish they made it personal with Grills.
Yeah. It seems like in general, a lot of the story with the LARPers got trimmed. Like we saw some cut footage of one of the LARPers wearing like the Hawkeye
Right.
classic costume, and it seems like that got trimmed, and that might be this episode might be a place where, yeah, some of the trimming made for some rough edges on some of the jumps here, for sure.
The Hawkeye costume, I could see that being the ending of the series or something, where obviously I think it's a white dude under the costume, not a black man like
Yeah.
Grills. But I feel like that could be, I guess, retooled for something at the end. Maybe someone sees Kate's sketch of Hawkeye like in the diner, and
Yeah.
then, oh shit, I could make this into a costume. I feel like that could be a thing at the end. But yeah, the LARPing scene is just like, I feel like that could have been done more organically. But I mean, it's kind of small, really.
Yep.
Um, I also do like the, what do you call this? I guess going back to Jack, I do kind of like the dynamic they have as a family now. I like how, despite Kate thinking this guy's a fucking shithead and he's probably a fucking criminal, I like that she likes seeing her mom happy.
Yeah.
Even in that moment where she finds out that Jack's a fucking like his shithead, that the mom can find happiness with this guy. She can like sort of see, she can sort of recognize this semblance of family that they have. Um, and I also like in that scene where when fucking Eleanor talks with Clint. That's such a good moment where she asks to fucking, she thinks she's asking Clint to stop, investigating, and she uses her daughter as an excuse that, can you not do this just so my kid won't be in danger? And I absolutely love how Clint is like, I'm gonna keep Kate away from this because I have kids, but I'm not fucking stopping. There's no fucking way you're
Yeah.
stopping an Avenger from investigating. I kind of like that.
Yeah, and it's fun because I think in Eleanor's Orbit, everybody does what she says, right?
Right.
Like, and you see that from her very very clearly. Like, she is in charge of everything, and she's in charge of her business and in charge of her family. And so Kate kind of ruffles her feathers because she doesn't always follow orders, and now she thinks she's just going to tell Clinton what to do, and he's like, "Yeah, sorry, lady, I'm going to finish my job. I will keep your daughter safe, but I'm going to do
Right.
what I'm going to do." And then that results, like you said, in that phone call.
Yeah.
And it obviously that phone call is meant to be mysterious, but I mean, come on, it can only be so mysterious, right? Like, there were one of two people on the other end of that phone, and only one of them was going to be able to get a trained assassin into New York City that fast.
Like, is there still room for that Madame Mask rumor here? I feel like
I
At
don't think so.
least,
Not as a separate character.
right? Yeah, I kind of wish that. Though I think it would be obvious though, but I kind of wish that they gave this show more space to fucking, I guess, get cheesy with some of the characters here. Like, oh, there's someone in a mask in the background. I,
Yeah.
I feel like that's so fucking Silver Age comic book stuff, and that, who's this masked figure behind the thing?
Yeah.
I feel like, especially like I feel like Vera would make a fucking incredible Meta Mask. The way she's so two faced in general here, but imagine how fun it would be if she was actually two faced and actually fucking evil, because
Yeah.
she's sort of teetering between really opportunistic here and just selfish. Nothing too inherently fucking evil, but I would like to see like a fucking evil side of the character. I mean, if
Yeah.
she's the you know Madame Mask, but I think the next two episodes at least, it kind of seems like we're just getting the black tie party and the Rockefeller thing.
Yeah.
The
Those are
ice
going to be
cube.
your big set pieces.
Yeah, I think the Elena trailer they put out this week has scenes where Elena is in that ice skating scene.
Yeah.
There's also a scene where she's like in her white Black Widow outfit and she's like in a mansion or some shit. I'm curious what the context of that scene is. I wonder if there's anything there. I'm curious if it's a flashback. It would seem like it's a flashback. And then there's
Wasn't she
another.
wearing her vest in that
Does
flashback in
she?
that shot? I thought someone I have only watched it really quickly without any sound on one time and I didn't pay attention. But then I was pretty sure someone said it was a flashback because she was wearing her outfit from Black Widow. So I don't know if that meant her vest or what. I haven't gone back to look.
It's definitely the white thing. It's the white
Yeah.
tundra outfit. But yeah, it has the vest. So, huh? There, that must be a fucking flashback. Hmm. But then again, there's also a scene in the fucking trailer where she catches like a tumbler or something, which I
Yeah.
assume is in the apartment of Clint. In Clint's apartment. Speaking of, it's so fucking crazy that Clint is squatting in the apartment
Kate's aunt's
of Kate.
apartment.
It's so weird that he's there. I kind of wish that he just fucking rent a place of his own, or shit, a fucking Fury safe house. I feel like that could have been a thing. Like I don't know why he keeps insisting on staying in some girl's aunt's apartment. It's so dumb. Like a fucking grown man. I feel like that could have been, oh shit, this is one of Nick Fury's safe houses. And
Yeah.
it's just so crazy in general that we're like 10 years in, we still don't have any Nick Fury safe houses because that's his fucking thing. He has a million
Right.
of them in the fucking Marvel universe. It's so crazy that we
Everywhere.
haven't gotten like he probably has one. He probably has three in each country. So it's so wild that we haven't gotten like a fucking Nick Fury safe house.
Yeah. And I thought, you know, in Falcon and the Winter
Right.
Soldier on the set, they had the name of one of them there, and I was like, oh shit, they're finally doing it. And then that never even made it into the series. I don't even think we saw when they went through Madripoor. I don't even think we saw
Yeah.
that sign in the series. They just kind of worked around it. It was nuts.
The scene with Qazi, I got to interview Rafi this week. It's he was a very nice dude, by the way. He it was such a fucking brief interview, but he was a nice dude to talk to. He was sort of hinting in that now that Clint is sort of threatening him in his relationship with Maya. I am curious where things are gonna go. He did sort of say with I think THR that he's not sure if he's gonna be an Echo. It kind of seems like just with his character here, it's hard for me to imagine him dying in that he hasn't done much to merit a death.
Yeah.
So he isn't prominent enough to actually get killed off at this point. And if Maya's doing her own show, I feel like Kazi would be a nice sort of tie
Hmm.
tether to sort of this whole Hawkeye world. And if we're getting Kazi and Echo, maybe we can give him the fucking clown mask because it's so fucking dope. But that whole thing with Kazi, I was sort of like before we the episode came out, we were sure at least this was gonna be a Maya Kazi episode,
Yeah. And then we
and
got nothing.
we got fucking nothing, and that was kind of a disappointment. So I don't know. But I'm curious what they have in store for Kazi. I hope they don't fucking kill him. I don't think they're gonna kill him, but I want to see more of the character for sure.
Yeah, I think it's got to be kind of obvious. Something is gonna happen here fairly quickly, where we only have 2 episodes left, where Echo switches sides and finds herself aligned with Kate and Clint. You can't imagine Qazi making the same jump, so something's gonna come between the two of them, and obviously that relationship is so important to Qazi, and it'll be, I guess, it could be something to explore. What happens to this character once this lifelong, very important relationship is torn away from him? What becomes of him, right? So could that be the thing that sort of pushes him over the edge into being that more interesting version of the clown, and a part of the Echo series as a villain or the villain of that series? I know he's not done much here in this series to show that, hey, I deserve to be the lead in another series around the bad guy, but that doesn't mean that he's not capable of doing it. And I guess we have to wait and see what fate befalls his character before we really get to make that judgment.
How do you envision Maya switching sides?
Well, I mean, it has to have some connection to something she finds out about Wilson Fisk.
Right.
Right? Like we know in the comics he actually killed her dad. We know here that Clint killed her dad, but that doesn't mean that somehow Wilson won't have had some hand in it, right? Like who knows what kind of shady shit he's done, and like how did Clint know where to go to kill those people? Who knows if Wilson didn't somehow, have his hand in Clint's killing of all those people at that point in time.
Oh, I actually
What if that was his move to take out the rest of those guys to help elevate him? We talked about that last week, that perhaps the blip is like his origin story, right? That during that time is when he made his moves. So maybe that's a part of it. I mean, I think that that's reasonable. And obviously we kind of think, we know Maya jumps over to the side with Hawkeye and Kate. For her to go on to Clint's side, for her to side with the guy that she's going to know killed her dad, is something pretty serious had to have gone down.
I mean, it's not unheard of for Fisk to sort of make the most out of a tragedy to fucking make money from it, because that's what he did in the Netflix shows, right? He took advantage of the invasion of New York and sort of, oh shit, real estate. We can fucking jack up the prices now. So yeah, I guess that is sort of, that's probably the case here. Like I'm kind of worried now that we have 2 fucking episodes left. There's so much here that needs to unravel. The thing with Jack, the thing with Eleanor, Wilson Fisk, Maya's thing with the dad, Qazi, fucking Elena. Oh my god, there's like so many things here that I'm curious if they're gonna have enough space to fucking stick the landing. Like, I guess if there's anything here that's gonna go unanswered, it's definitely the Maya stuff. That's the whole reason she has a show. Yeah. I guess that is sort of the short end of the stick here. That maybe the end. I guess the end of the season is gonna be Maya figuring out, oh shit, Fisk is the bad guy, and that's the fucking that's her end. Clint and Kate go home to their family for Christmas. I guess I'm guessing Eleanor and fucking Jack go to jail, some shit like that. Yeah, that's how I see this ending, and maybe Qazi sort of becomes a higher lieutenant for Fisk or something, or I don't know. Like it's interesting to see how this is all gonna fucking sort of come together, but I'm kind of worried because while this show is great, while the cast is great, while the interactions are great, the storytelling is just okay. It's not like low key level of holy shit, this show's fucking the leaps this show takes is truly next level. But here it's sort of like, yeah, it's okay. It's not the best, but the characters make up for the storytelling gaps. And if you have storytelling gaps, I feel like you're definitely gonna have a hard time sticking the landing. So I don't fucking know. I'm just hoping that it sticks the landing.
Yep, and I think it's gonna have to. A lot of that depends on what moves get made next week, and and I think there's room in episode 5 for some of the big moves to get made, so that by the time we get to 6, we're just trying to wrap everything up. I think that that's
Right.
reasonable. That the introduction of Fisk in the episode this week, the full introduction of him, really changes the way things happen over the course of the rest of the show. I think that
Right.
that's probably fine.
If you make episode 5 the fucking Fisk episode where it's all the fucking reveals. Oh, Maya's, sorry, Jack is bad. Fucking Eleanor's bad. Fisk is their boss. They have a crime meeting. If you do that here, then episode 6 is your sort of action episode where
Yeah.
they fight. They fight in a tux, and then they go to the ice skating rink down to fucking take out whatever. I guess
Yeah.
that's sort of the thing I could see there, but I don't know. Find out the
Well, and
fucking.
I mean the reality is the end fight, if it really is just the three of them against a bunch of tracksuits, it's not really
Yes.
much, right? It's just going to be an ass kicking. So even though we've seen that Rockefeller Center or ice rink or whatever it is, and we know that that's like the big showdown with the tracksuits. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be some showdown between Hawkeye and Fisk, or Hawkeye and Kate and Fisk. We have no idea. I mean,
Mhm.
it seems like it would make the most sense for Fisk to walk out of this without being tied to everything, without having to get his hands dirty, right? So that he can not be indicted here. But I would love to see Hawkeye come face to face with Wilson Fisk.
Were you disappointed when Hawkeye did not recognize Jack when he fucking put the sword to his neck?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad. I'm kind of sad in general. Like, I love Tony Dalton, but I am kind of sad in general of what we're getting with Jack. That he just seems to be
Some
like
dude.
an unwitting moron.
Right.
I mean, the dude was an Avenger, and he's just getting thrown in here. I feel like he got thrown in here because they knew people would like lazily Google him and be like, "Oh, bad guy,"
Right.
and not like read up on him and not know who he truly was. So I feel like that's what they did here. And if this is the only version of Swordsman we ever get, I guess I'll be a little bit disappointed because he was a member of the team when I was reading it, when I was a kid. So I would rather see him be at least a little bit cooler character. But for what
Yeah.
we're getting from Tony Dalton is absolutely killing it.
They're gonna have to sort of pay off the fucking story thing with Kate though. The fact that
You would think.
they established that, oh, this dude has his way with swords. If you don't fucking pay that off, then that's dumb storytelling. You fucking clearly set that up that this dude has some tricks up his sleeve. If he never shows those tricks, then it'll be a fucking bummer.
Yeah, a huge waste.
Yeah. I think we're good.
Yep, that does it. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us this week. We appreciate your continued support of the site and the team. We love it. We wouldn't be able to do it without you. We'll be back here again next week to wrap up episode 5.
Bye.